Welcome, Pahrump. I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, and tonight is a special late edition for the live show. Difficult to get out of the office as usual on a Monday, but anyway, I am here, so I believe they will put up a call-in number below there. So if you're going to call in, please do so at this time, because this is a live show and you can ask your questions. I'll be happy to answer it. One of the things that came up a couple of shows ago, Ray had called in and had asked a question about valerian root. And it seems that valerian root has a calming effect based on its probably there's a valerian acid in that may act like a Valium-like derivative. It has GABA and may attach to the GABA receptors. And so that brings up the whole object about anxiety, true anxiety, and its relative forms. And one of the things that we in the medical profession know, that true anxiety is an imbalance between the receptors of our system. We have an excitatory system in our body that keeps us awake and alert, and we also have a depressing side also that actually lowers or depresses our system. And when people have true anxiety, they have a deficiency of GABA, which is a neurotransmitter. And so with that being said, those people that have true anxiety, not because anxiety that's situational, because of an impending court case, or you got pulled over by a law officer or something along that nature, you're supposed to have that adrenaline rush. But people that have true anxiety don't have any cause for it. They just know their feeling of impending doom, their heart's racing. It gets so difficult that they may go into agoraphobia, where they basically don't have the ability to, they just don't go outside because of the anxiety. So that being said, true anxiety is a deficiency of GABA. When you give someone a replacement for that, which is Valium, the old standby, it just brings their level back up to normal, and they feel normal. They don't feel sedated, they don't feel depressed, they don't feel anything, they just feel normal. They can actually deal with the level of anxiety. So did we have a caller? I don't know, we're having some trouble with the teleprompter, but anyway.
Yes, you have a caller. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I do. Okay, there you are.
Raider Flagman, how you doing, Doc?
Good.
I stay with the show for the whole hour because I know sometimes you show up a little bit late. And I said, well, I got questions piling up, so I might as well hang in here.
Good. I'm glad you do.
First of all, that valerian root, I think it helps out as far as anxiety. It's over the counter, and it just seems to calm the nerves and everything. It's not something you got to take regular, but on occasion I find some relief in valerian root, so I mentioned that on a previous show. But my questions for tonight are three simple questions: autism, savant, and the third one, polio shots. I don't know if they still give polio shots, but I'd like to know if they do. And also, as far as autism, is that still something in the shots that cause, I think it was mercury in the shots that would maybe possibly cause autism in kids? And savants, does the medical establishment have any idea why someone would have disabilities and yet be excellent or excel in something like music or mathematics or whatever? If you can, explain any one of those, I'd appreciate it. And welcome back. Nice to see you on TV again.
Ray, what was the question about this? I lost on the savant or the...
Yeah, the savant. I talked to a radio show last night. They were talking about 3-year-old kids that can play Beethoven.
Okay.
Yet they're just like not even, how would you say, good at anything else, but they would just have these talents.
Yeah, like the movie K-Pax, where the guy draws this planetary system out of nowhere, or they make perfect replicas of Rembrandts, but they can't do anything else. So,
or somebody could mathematically figure out things, and they're just normal people.
Right.
And I'm wondering if there's some kind of medical decision on why this may be happening. It's very interesting,
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and I did talk about your valerian root, and we did talk about GABA. It does have there's a slide that I prepared on that, which it is probably one of the over-the-counter products. It may actually do something kind of like St. John wort's does have serotonin based derivatives, so it really can help with depression. You don't have to go to a doctor. That's been proven to be as effective as Zoloft, and Verulan root might be as effective as Valium for some individuals. So I do think that's a good thing if you're anxious out there. That's one of the things that you could try as opposed to going to the doctor and getting controlled drugs, because I know it's getting harder and harder to get these issues. In fact, I'm going to digress for a second. I didn't even realize it, but the state pharmacy board passed this new law on October 1 that made everybody who prescribes a Schedule 2, 3, or 4 level medication, we have to run a PMP or a practitioner profile on every patient. If we don't, we're violating the law. So that was another downside. I know I've been on my rant about the government intervention, but this is just another intrusion on your rights. Sometimes it's good, sometimes they're bad. We can talk about that at another show. Polio shots, yes, they do give those. There was the oral polio. I do believe they do give. I don't do a lot of immunizations because of the age of the population I'm with today, but polio vaccine is still out there, and certainly there is some theory that there has been a much higher level of autism that has been growing and growing and growing each year, and it seems to be they want to relate it to the immunizations. I really couldn't tell you. Okay, I really couldn't tell you what the issue is there. I know they're tried to make the connection between mercury. They have mercury-free vaccines today. They have egg-free. They've done a lot of things with vaccines. So I know they've tried to link that. I don't think it's true, but I don't have any data to substantiate it one way or the other. And I know there are people that will move in the direction against vaccines, and then we have outbreaks of diphtheria and things of that nature that cause great distress amongst the community, because as you know, we've all grown in population, so these diseases, when you get into large populated areas, are a big issue. Also with the issue of MMR and some of the other things, and we get these measles outbreak, and we get all these other things that could be an issue. So there's always a risk-benefit ratio. And as far as savants, we know they exist. It's interesting. I think nobody really, the mind is one of those things we need to understand, and we need to have a better understanding of what it does, but at this time it's one of those modern mysteries, and it may be unlocked in some future generation, but it won't even be close to in our generation. So those are very interesting topics, and like I said, I believe vaccines are still useful. I believe they've done a lot. Polio was a scary disease if you got it. Can you imagine living in today's world when we have Ebola and we have things of that nature? If we had polio epidemics and what people would be doing, it would literally shut our society down. So that's a difficult situation, and one that I would like to link autism and some of the other things to some of the other chemicals in our society, some of the foods we eat, some of the GMOs, some of the things that we do that could very well be out there, but yet immunizations are one of those things that they blame it because we immunize these babies and on all of this time. So I don't know who's going to do a controlled study. Does the U.S. have more autism than other countries and we're heavily immunized? I don't know. That data may be out there and somebody could look at it and compile it, but I would say I'm pretty uneducated in that one of those conspiracy issues. So we're going to go to break, and I thank you for tuning in tonight for the live show. And if there are any callers out there, please call in. We'll be back with a brief 15-minute segment. Have a good night. Thank you. Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Reiner, your host of the Independent Doctors of Pahrump, a TV show that airs Monday night on Channel 46. I want to remind you that I am a practicing physician in Pahrump, and I'm an independent practitioner, which means I am not bought by any insurance company or corporate medicine. We provide the highest level of care. We have nurse practitioners. We have other physicians, specialists who come to our office. Please come visit me. I'm at 1316 East Calvada here in the heart of Pahrump. Thank you.